Hey everybody, how's it going? Micah and I have come out for a little spin up one of the roads that I used more than any other road in Cornwall for my winter training and probably all of my training. This is the Laddock Valley, which spans from a little village called TRUNNION and runs right up towards Hamburger Hill on the A30, if you know Cornwall. I always knew I was on a really good day if I made it up and underneath Hamburger Hill, so that'd be 20 minutes from the start of the valley. The nice thing about using this road is it was mega consistent. Whilst the wind direction changes, you always roughly knew where you were for any given weather situation, circumstances, conditions, which made it really just a really good marker for training. Anyway, today we wanted to chat about why training and cycling in the winter is such a good time to build your fitness. We're going to go for a little pedal, tell you all about it in a second. Reason number one, it's a really good opportunity to clean your bike after every ride, or just neglect it for weeks on end and let it go nasty and black and thick and covered in dirt like I appear to have done. At least your bike's nice and clean, mate. Right, the main reason I think riding in the winter is really good is it's the perfect time to work on any like fitness gains you want to make. So maybe you're not that good at getting uphill, referencing myself, and you want to work on doing some short sharp intervals, build a bit of strength, VO2 capacity, or maybe you've got something weird like a leg length discrepancy, which means one leg is doing more work than the other potentially, something you could try and even out, or stretching, tighter muscles on one side, that sort of thing. Generally speaking, most people don't take part in events throughout the winter, which means you've got loads of time just to chip away at any issues you want to improve and make progression with. So it's actually aerobic training, so doing lots of long rides, sprinting maybe. You know, it could take a good 6 months to try and activate a good sprint. So doing a few sessions a week like that. If you have any questions on that sort of session, drop them in the comments box, because on Monday I'm going to answer a huge amount of your questions in that Q&A I advertised last week. Also, one of the best things about riding in the winter is that you get back and you feel like you've achieved something. Even if you only go out for 30 minutes and the weather's awful, it's better than not going out for that 30 minutes. Anything's better than nothing. And I quite like, even if the weather's awful and I felt really miserable on the ride, you get home and you've done something you otherwise wouldn't have done, and a lot of people probably didn't do. Mike has just described my favourite training road in Cornwall as ugly. Training, not cycling. I think there's a big difference between training and actually cycling. Like cycling implies to me that I'm going to do something that's fun and enjoyable. Training implies to me that it's going to be painful, but I'll get better for it.
Every time when you start talking, you go faster.
A little bit of light exercise is also proven to be good for your immune system at a cellular level, helping the production of antibodies and helping your white blood cells as well, which could potentially prevent you from getting ill, which means, well, it means a few things. It means you can ride your bike more often if you're not ill, but it also means you're just going to feel that little bit healthier. And talking about health, exercise is seriously good for your mental health, especially in the winter when it's really dark and miserable outside. Going out, getting a little bit of fresh air, getting your heart rate up, get your blood flowing, it's going to help release those chemicals and endorphins into your body, which is just going to make you feel that much better about yourself as well. And it's going to have a knock-on effect to everything you do. Ultimately, the better you feel doing stuff, the more you're going to want to do it, the more frequently you're going to enjoy doing it, and the easier the rest of your life is going to become, which is seriously going to benefit your mental health. In the winter, with so many dark nights, every night, things like SAD starting to affect people, even going out and riding in the dark with some lights on give you such a buzz. I think night riding is probably one of the most enjoyable things in the winter. Bit of dirt on the road. Also, riding in the winter, unless you're riding with me, can be a really social activity. Of course, we don't like to talk. I've got a camera in my hand and I'm pretty miserable on the whole because I don't like the wet weather. But no, in all seriousness, traditionally, when there's no coronavirus lockdown, riding in big groups in the winter is one of the best ways to pass a little bit of time, have a social catch up, because that's what's great about cycling in my mind, is it's something that loads of people can do together, especially now that e-bikes are becoming more of a thing. It means that mixed abilities can ride together more as well. It's a win-win for everyone in my book. Another reason for riding in the winter is for your technical ability. It's really good. The roads are generally slippery, especially if you live where we live, covered in what I call Cornish ice, which is a mixture of dung, oil, diesel and mud, and it's lethal. Leaves. You're adding things to my list now. But no, seriously, riding in the winter, you get to ride so many different types of road surface in so many different conditions, and it can be pretty lethal. Like today, coming down here, it's all right, it's nice and dry. On the whole though, I wouldn't ride here in the winter, it'd be too muddy, too nasty. Avoiding a patch of leaves there. You end up learning to analyse the terrain and the surfaces properly, meaning you're going to be that much more safer and that much more competent next year. There are no prizes for crashing when training or riding a bike, so you just got to take it nice and easy, go nice and slowly, tiptoe your way around the lanes if it's really nasty. But at the end of winter, you'll come out with this whole catalogue of experience riding on slippery surfaces, meaning you're going to be that much more competent on a bike. It's getting dirty now. Coming up in just a second is one of my favourite random village shops in Cornwall, and that's because if I'm doing a long ride, one of the first long rides, I'll normally get back to here, turn left, after having done like 4.5 or 5 hours. I'll be starving, I'll be thirsty, pop into there. We're going to battle our way home into a bit of a cross headwind, which seems to have picked up as the ride's gone on, but at least the rain has eased off. I've been a little bit slack with the comments recently, and I'm going to make a concerted effort to catch up on those. If you do have any questions for Monday's Q&A, drop them down in the comments below, and I'll try and include those as well. But otherwise, hope you're all staying safe and well. The next video that you see from me after the Q&A will be an update about Micah's training, how to plan a training program throughout the winter, sort of things you need to pay attention to, that kind of thing. And that's because that appeals to my nerdy side, but also I think it'd be quite beneficial for anyone that wants to build their fitness just like Micah does. Right, see you again soon.